I don't need the legislation for it. Day one, I will cancel the high-speed train. Okay? And I can do it unilaterally. The governor has the line item veto, and I can just take the veto pen and strike out all the funding for the high-speed train. Second thing I'm going to do, day one, is I'm going to pull the governor's appeal of this court case where he's fighting the kids. Because I'm going to be on the side of the kids. I'm not going to fight the kids who want to get a good education. Again, I can do that unilaterally. Then some things I need legislation for. So I want to go back to the voters. The voters have approved $10 billion for the first part of the train. I need to go back to the voters and ask them to use that money for something else. I want to invest in water. So I will put in motion the plans to go back to the voters to re-vote on that $10 billion. And then begin my broader regulatory reform plan. And by the way, oil and gas, I've said I want to create a commission that reports right to me, right to the governor's office, of people from the environmental community and the oil and gas community to break down some of the barriers that are stopping investment in California. Again, those are more procedural things that we need to overcome. The governor has thousands of administrative positions that he gets to appoint. And by appointing people that are focusing on jobs, I think we can turn this thing around pretty quickly.
So, I do understand your concern.
Really close to the mic. Just really close.
Yeah, so I do understand your concern about manufacturing.
Yeah.
Why manufacturing only? Why not all a startup? Give some breakthrough, means that a person who is just starting something new at least have another 5 years of time where he can really grow.
Yeah.
5 years or 7 years, some.
Here's the thing. I would love, like, for example, our taxes are way too high in California. You'll probably agree. And they're poorly designed, so they disincentivize investment rather than encouraging investment. But here's the devil. The devil is that our tax code is so progressive, so disproportionately paid by higher earners, that any tax cut I would announce is automatically a tax cut for the rich.
Yes.
By definition.
Right.
And so I cannot start by saying, let's cut corporate taxes, or we have to put people back to work and lower the unemployment rate so we broaden the tax base in order to then lower taxes on businesses, on investment, etc. Number one. Number two, there's a concept in policy where you don't want to pay for behavior that would have happened anyway. So I don't know the number, but 1 million companies will get started next year. I'm making it up, in California. Okay? If I say, hey, no taxes for the first 5 years, we're giving away money for that first 1 million businesses that we're going to get started anyway, all in favor of the next 100,000 that we're trying to encourage. Does that make sense? That's very inefficient economic policy. So we spend, just like this, if I were going to give $1 to every person that starts a business next year, and there's going to be 1 million of them anyway, the first $1 million I spend is wasted, all trying to get the next 100 or the next 1,000. So it's very inefficient policy. Compare that to what I said on manufacturing. If you open a new manufacturing plant in California, no taxes for 10 years. 0 of that's happening right now. So all of the money that we spend is an incremental behavior that we're trying to encourage. So it's very efficient economic policy rather than very inefficient. So when you design these policy programs, you have to try to narrow them so you get the most bang for your buck. And so there are things that I would like to do, like reduce the $800 fee for every registration fee for every business. That's like 3 times as much as the next state. There are things like that we can do, but we need to be very smart with our taxpayer dollars to get as much incremental benefit for every dollar that we spend.
So what are the plans for the next 2.5 weeks to bridge the gap that you talked about?
Yeah, so in, we moved from 2 to 19 in a month, back in May. And so we have about 15 points we want to close right now. We started running our new TV ad statewide. Again, I said it's very controversial. You'll see it. It's going to run for the next 2.5 weeks, so we're continuing to raise money. You've seen it?
Yeah, yeah.
The kid?
The kid.
Yeah.
The running kid.
Yeah. We're going to keep running that. These things, what I learned about this, I've never done this before, is you have to play these things over and over and over again for them to sink in. And so we're going to just keep hitting Brown. There's an analogy. I watch American football. And when you're down in American football in the fourth quarter, you can either give up or you can attack. And I'm attacking. and I'm going to make Jerry Brown answer for the fact that he's betrayed the kids and he's backing the teacher union. So everything that we're going to do in the next 2.5 weeks is to make sure the people of California know about the choice that he made, and to let them know there's a candidate who is going to fight for the kids, not against the kids. And so we're campaigning up and down the state, doing political events, doing a ton of press, doing meetings like this, but we're also flooding the airwaves to make sure people see there is an election, here's this candidate you may not know, here's this key issue you should know about.
So I know that you have a tight schedule. Before we thank you and let you go, the last question, and sure. I get to ask that. Tell us something about Neil the Man.
Neil the Man.
And why did you choose California? What are your roots in California?
Well, I chose California because I wanted to work in aerospace. So after I graduated with my master's in engineering, I came here for a job. And I fell in love with it just like you did as soon as I got here, and I've wanted to stay ever since. So it's been my home most of my adult life. I'll tell you something about me, the man. I love pets, animals. I've got 2 big dogs, Newfoundlands. They're 130 pounds each. They're like my kids. And so when I'm not working, which is most of the time, which is true for all of you, I'm usually at home spending time with my dogs. I have a girlfriend, or spending time in the mountains. I like being outdoors, like being active, like staying fit. One of the things I made a priority of on the campaign trail is I try to squeeze in a workout every day if I can. And that's more for my mental health than it is for anything else. And so staying fit, staying active, spending time at home when I can. Pretty typical stuff.
Let's give him a big hand.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
As a token of our gratitude, a little present from us.
Wonderful. Thank
Please
you.
do display it in your office,
Okay.
even after you become governor.
Okay, you got it.
We want people to know about I Am America's.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Wonderful.
So, thank you very much from all of us.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I'm going to
Future president.
Hey, all of you vote for him.
Yeah, please. If I didn't make the sale, that's on me.
No, you made the sale. You made the sale.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.